Hey everybody, Will with Studio Zombie 3D here again. This video we're going to take a look at the unboxing and setup of the Anycubic Kobra Max. The box would fit on the table or in the camera shot, so we're just going to start with it all laid out on the table. Let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look at what we have in the box. First up we have our LCD touchscreen. Next we have the user manual, with the instructions how to put it together and set it up. We have our standard USB cables for connecting to the PC. We have our wrenches for adjusting the concentric nuts and removing the nozzle, our power cable, the filament holder itself, a standard pair of side cutters, here's our standard tube of grease for the Z-axis. These are the clips to hold the glass bed on. We have our extra 0.4 nozzle, a standard set of Allen keys, an 8 gig micro SD card, the USB reader for the USB card, our plastic scraper, and then our assembly screws. And finally a few zip ties just to tie up your cables when you're done assembling. Now, the first thing I'm going to do before I try to assemble it is I'm going to cut off the zip ties from underneath the print bed. There's one on each side that you have to remove. Be sure to be careful that you don't cut yourself on the zip ties. They're usually pretty sharp on the ends. Once we're done that, we can go ahead and get the gantry installed. Alright, now we can move ahead with installing the gantry. With the printer on its side, line up the gantry with the grooves in the base. 2 screws on each side will help secure it. Once you're finished that, repeat the same steps on the other side. Now, with our gantry installed, we can go ahead and remove the zip ties on both of the Z-axis and then on the hot end itself. There's also a piece of foam on the hot end that you will need to remove. Again, make sure you're careful removing the zip ties, as a lot of the times where the ends are cut, it can be pretty sharp. Once the foam is removed, you'll notice that the hot end is quite loose. Using the wrench that you got in the accessory kit, we're going to tighten the concentric nut on the bottom. You don't want to over tighten this as it'll cause excessive wear on the wheels. You just want to tighten it until the wobble stops. And what I like to do is just give it a little quarter of a turn afterwards. Once we've got that tightened up, we can move on to the rest of the setup. Alright, next thing we're going to do is plug in the Z-stepper. After this, we're going to move back up to the top of the printer and install the struts. Using the supplied screws, washer, and lock nut, install the top of the strut into the slot you see here. Don't quite tighten it right down. You want it to be able to move a little bit until you install the bottom. install the bottom of the strut. Using the supplied plastic washer and screw, just attach it to the bottom. You may need to loosen it a little bit just to get it to reach. Once you have it in place, tighten the nuts so that the strut isn't loose anymore. Repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Next we can move on plugging the rest of the wiring in. Up on the gantry under the extruder, you're going to plug in one end of the cable. Just press it in until the tabs on the side lock in the cable. Next, we're going to plug in the extruder cable. Using the provided plastic clips, we're going to secure the ribbon cable to the Bowden tube. Next, using the supplied clip and screw, we're going to attach the ribbon cable to the gantry by the extruder. Finally, we're going to use the supplied zip ties just to clean up the cables on the side here, just so they don't get into the way. Alright, next up we're going to install the LCD screen. This is pretty simple. Just 3 screws to attach it, and then plug in the cable. Alright, we're almost at the finish line here. Lastly, we're going to put on the glass bed. First thing we're going to do is peel off the protective coating. It's stuck on really good, so you have to really pull. And finally, using the 6 clips from the accessory pack, we're going to secure the glass bed to the print bed itself. Alright, once we're done this, we can power the printer on. You don't need to set the voltage on the Kobra Mac, which is nice. Let's take a look at the LCD. Pretty standard fare here again. It's the same menu system as the Cobra and the Viper before. Just like the Anycubic Viper, the Kobra Max uses a pressure sensor on the nozzle. So let's take a level now. Alright everybody, that's it for my unboxing and setup video for the brand new Anycubic Kobra Max 3D printer. I couldn't believe how big this printer was. It's pretty amazing. I can't wait to show you more in the future. Alright, that's it for another video. Thanks for watching everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out the Studio Zombie 3D Instagram to see what's going on in the studio. We'll see you in the next video everyone.